Hi, welcome to this demo on ASP.NET MVC4 web application development. This is going to be a series of demos wherein in each demo we will go through from scratch of creating a MVC application. Then again, we will go into deeper concepts of what is a model and view and a controller and so on. Okay, so my name is Darni Graceland, as I've told you, and I think you would have gone through a couple of videos in my YouTube. And this is going to be a series of demo videos. And this is my name, and this is my blog ID, darnigrace.wordpress.com. So if you have any suggestions or feedback, please feel free to put your suggestions inside my blog ID. And so in this demo, we would be looking into the introduction uh, to ASP.NET application. Okay, so all the introduction concepts I will be going through this particular video. Okay, so in the first step, what I would like to introduce is about the different types of application development. So if I think about web applications, okay, so I can think about a website development, okay, and then we can also develop uh, web form applications, and we can also develop MVC applications. So if I have to develop any one of these applications, say if it's going to be a website application, so what tools I can use if I have to go for website development? Okay, there are a lot of tools available for you in the internet. Okay, so you can download and you can just start using that. But some of the very appropriate tools with respect to ASP.NET application development and website development, what I would suggest is about Web Matrix. Okay, so it's a tool particularly designed for developing websites. So you can create web pages and then upload the web pages. So this is a very excellent tool wherein it is connected from the web matrix itself. You can directly deploy your website to your host. It can be a IIS, or you can also deploy to your cloud, Windows Azure also. Okay, so that's about website development. Then in that case, what is about web form application development? So if I have to create web form applications, what are the tools I can go through? Okay, so again, if it is web form, then you might have to choose Visual Studio. Okay, so web form application, depending upon the framework that you want to have in your web form application, you can go for the Visual Studio IDE. It can be either 2010 or 2012, and now we have 2013 and so on. Okay, suppose so depending upon the requirements, you go for that particular Visual Studio version. Okay, and how about MVC applications? Yes, again, Visual Studio if you have to go for developing MVC applications also. Okay, so having said that, okay, we know what are the different applications that I can create. Okay, it can be a website application, it can be a web form, or it can be a MVC application. And now you also know what tool you have to choose if you're going to go for a website, a web form, or a MVC application. Okay, so the second one is, what is the difference between web form and MVC applications? Of course, you know about a website. Okay, so I'm not going in detail about it. A website has a different web pages, and each and every web page is connected with each other. Okay, but what you can have in a web form and a MVC application, you can have control over your .NET framework APIs also, ASP.NET APIs also. Okay, so what in that case, what is the difference between a web form and MVC application? Okay, so when you will go for a web form, or when you will go for a MVC application. Say that you are being asked to create an application with a short duration of time. Okay, your boss is asking you to create an application within a short duration. In that case, you will go for choosing a web form application. Okay, now what is the advantage is you can create web form application in short durations. Okay, very easy to implement. Okay, so it doesn't consume much time. Okay, easy to implement, and anyone who knows about basic coding, okay, who knows about the how what are the APIs and how to use them, so on, okay, they can just start creating a web form application. Okay, so that's about it. But what is the disadvantage of a web form application is it is not very much suitable if you're creating an application which is for a agile environment. Okay, agile business. Okay, if you're creating an application for agile business which keeps changing, okay, and in that case, if you are going to create a web form application, then it's very difficult. It cannot adapt to all the changes, or if there is any change for that matter, then you might have to revamp, or you have to do a major changes inside your web form application. Okay, so in that case, what is the other MVC application? MVC, as we know, it's a model view controller pattern. Okay, so this pattern has been there for for a long time. Okay, so this is not with respect to Visual Studio or anything. It's just a pattern that we are using in creating a web application. Okay, so in that case, when you will go for MVC pattern, when you will actually think about going into a MVC pattern. Okay, in that case, in case if you're been given a task of completing a web application, but you have a long duration, okay, and with wherein you can plan your application, okay, how it has to start and what is the structure and everything. Okay, in that case, you can choose for going for MVC pattern. Okay, so MVC pattern, I would say that you can try to go into a MVC application development if you have a long um, duration for developing your application. Okay, so in that case, so again, if you see the contradiction to web form and MVC is MVC is not easy to implement. Okay, and of course, the person or the developer who's trying to implement MVC application should have a very good knowledge on coding. Okay, and about what is a MVC pattern, how we communicate between the model view and the controller. How does the controller try to do the communication between the model and the view? Okay, so all this the user or the developer, I'm sorry, the developer should know how to create a application. Okay, now what is the advantage of creating application? MVC application is it can adapt. Okay, your MVC application is best suitable for agile business. Okay, so if you have any components to be included, okay, or to be removed, okay, you can do that in an MVC application, wherein the rest of the components you can still make it run without disturbing them. Okay, so this is very suitable for agile businesses. Okay, so in thank you for watching this video. Okay, so in the next video we will see about what is a web form. Okay, what how to create a web form application and how to create a MVC application. Thank you once again.